I'm Darren Levine, and I'm willing to bet that if you just found this video, you've been desperate to try and get one of these big silly things back into its case because it's so darn annoying if you don't know how to do it right. So we're gonna go over how to put it back together big ones like these, smaller oblong ones, disc ones, what have you. But we're gonna start with these big ones because I'm gonna bet that that's what a lot of folks are looking for that are just YouTubing and Googling right now because they've been fighting with them for the last half an hour or so. So let's go right into it. The main reason why these things are so annoying to put back together isn't necessarily because of their size, it's more because most of the time you figure the twisty motion, which you use for the circular ones, applies to these things as well. But if you try and do the twisty motion on one of these, you're gonna get hands that hurt and a really weird thing that keeps popping back out at you. Super frustrating, I know, I've been there. But here's the proper way to do it. Basically, you're gonna use gravity and a little bit of a pull together motion, up and in. So the outsides of the narrower end, you're gonna wanna pull up and in, and then it helps to put a little bit of pressure down on what's towards you. So I'm gonna do it in a bunch of ways, so don't worry, we're gonna go slow. But here's a slightly quick version. And I'm just gonna bring it up with my foot. Usually I just drop it on the ground into itself, but you won't really be able to see it that well. So let's do that again. And I'm gonna hold it up into the air so you can see what's going on. All I'm doing is pulling, you can use your even elbows to push down like this. I'm gonna lift it up so you can see, pull it up together and in, and it comes in on itself. And again, I'm just gonna drop it down, lift it up. Let's do it on the side so you can see it from another angle. We're gonna get you to be an expert at this within these few minutes. So, here it is on its side. So all I'm doing is lifting up, using my elbows to brace down a bit. As you can see, as you lift up towards you, it wants to come together. And so you can see it come together. I'm just gonna lift it right up. Simple as that. So, once you've got it down, you can literally just 3 seconds. I wanted to try and show you all one smooth motion, but obviously that didn't work. But as you can see, it does in fact come together very easily once you know what you're doing with it. So it's as simple as drop. So that is that for these fellas. Now, for the sake of completedness, here is a smaller oblong. So same shape, but much smaller. Do you do the same thing? No, when it's this size, you wanna stick to the good old twisty motion, which you can literally do it in half a second. Let's back that up just a second. You wanna not have your fingers or hands on one side for the twisty motion. Flip one around so you don't have to do this weird arm thing going on. Flip an arm around and then just away with one side and towards on the other side, and it comes right together. So once again, let's do it from here. As you can see, one hand's going the other way, one way, and one's going the other way, and it just comes right together. Now, a couple little tips. When you have these 5-in-1s, there's a couple bits of fabric. It's a lot of fabric and it could get snagged, so if it feels like it's a little tight, just give it a little loosen up, I like to store them without tension so it keeps the fabric nice and fresh and, doesn't break it apart. I've got some older one of these that the material has just fallen apart into like glitter. Could be from heat, could be from being stored in tension. So I like to keep it nice and neat. And that's it for the smaller oblongs. Let's just go into a circle so you can see that the circle is in fact the good old circle. This is actually an older one. I've repaired it, as you can see by some zip ties. This, I really should throw it out. It's on its last legs. I've thrown out the 5-in-1 cover. This is just basically a silk now. But as you can see, the twisty method for the circles works as you would hope it to. Nice and easy. And of course, you can do it in half a second flat. Of course, be careful with the wires, especially with the big ones. So let's just go into one more just for good measure. And this is the tiny little 20-inch. Love this little guy. Obviously this is a very diffused light, so there's not a whole lot of hit this is gonna give you, but with a hard source like the sun, this thing can give you a huge punch. It's nice and small and packs down. And this you can literally pack down with a couple of fingers doing the twisty motion. And as you can see, sometimes it doesn't come together perfectly, doesn't need to. Might be snagging on the fabric, so just give it a little loosen up. And as you can see, as you twist it, sometimes one bit wants to go higher, one bit wants to go lower. As you can see, if you look on this side, it wants to go on the bottom, but maybe on the top would be better. You know, I modified it a little bit. So it's not an exact science, it's really a basic thing. You just wanna make it feel nice, and that's really it. So hopefully by now, you have already turned this video off and have tried it. You're like, yes, finally I can put this thing away. So I hope that was super helpful to you, and I'll see you for the next quick tip. Stay sharp. You know, if you like all these tips, tricks, DIYs, and reviews, you should hit that subscribe button. I'm gonna come out with a lot more awesome stuff for photo and video. You can also check out the dog, the bird. Also visit MediaHalo.com. That's where we put up all this stuff in addition to YouTube, and you can put a profile up, share your own works and stuff, and it's all pretty cool. So check it out, and I'll see you for the next one. The bird is going after the microphone.